Okay guys, this video we're going to review the concept of dimensional analysis. So dimensional analysis, it is a strategy used to solve problems that involve lots of different units and numbers. Okay. In class, the practice problems we did this again were those involving like the pizza parties and the wings. Those were practiced with units that you were familiar with. And we have moved into using different quantities that involve formulas and units that you're not familiar with, like moles and grams and molecules and atoms. So this strategy is designed to make those things easy for you. Okay? So what we do is use a chart to keep everything organized. I know that a lot of these problems you can probably do either in your head or just on your calculator, just typing numbers right in, but this chart keeps everything organized and lined up so that we can track all of our work and see if we make any mistakes. Okay. Another essential part to this are conversion factors, right? They help us switch amounts from one unit to another unit. Okay. So before we get started, let's see. All right. So first thing that we need to know is that quantities have several different parts. Right? If we look at this quantity right here, 256.86 grams. Right? You might not think about it when you read a number like this, but it has two different parts, number and unit. Okay. When we use these in chemistry, we're often going to add another label to this. When we use compounds, it will be the number, the unit, and the formula. So we've definitely seen how formulas come into play with molar ratios, but this is not quite there yet. We're just learning dimensional analysis in this video. Okay, so next part. All right, the chart, how to use the chart. All right, basically it's big fraction. It keeps everything organized. All right, this is a blank dimensional analysis chart right here. I have some things labeled where our start unit and number will go, where we'll line up conversion factors, and where we put our goals so we know where we're headed when we're using a dimensional analysis chart. All right, so quick example here, if I ask you this question, convert 68.5 inches to centimeters. First thing we're gonna do is set up our chart. So we have our start and our goal here. So our start number is given to us, right here in our problem. We're going to fill out this quantity in our start box, 68.5 inches, our number and our unit, okay? We don't know our conversion factors yet. We haven't talked about that yet, but we do see our goal unit here is centimeters. We know that our unit at the end is going to be centimeters, but we don't quite know our number yet. All right, so that is the basic setup, how to use the chart. Okay. Next, we'll be on conversion factors. All right, so a conversion factor, it's an equal statement that switches from one unit to another. Basic conversion factors are common sense to you guys. You know these off the top of your head, right? $1 equals 100 cents. If we break this down like we did our other quantities, we see that we have a number and a unit for each side of the equation, and the left side of the equation is equal to the right side of the equation. Even though we have different numbers and different units, you guys know that these are equal to each other. So a conversion factor is this gateway to switch from one unit to another. When we use it in our chart, we chose which side to put on top and which side to put on the bottom to match our start quantity. Right? So if we look at this conversion factor up here, $1 equals 100 cents. When we line it up in our chart, we got two options. We can put it $1 at the top and 100 cents at the bottom, or 100 cents at the top and $1 at the bottom. This will depend on what our start unit is and what our goal is. Okay, so we put it all together, right? Going back to our example there, we had 68.5 inches as our start. We know our goal is going to be centimeters. All right, so the conversion factor that works for this, 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. Right? If you don't know this one off the top of your head, which you most likely don't, easy Google search, no problem. Okay, 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. Okay, so, not quite there yet. But if we're going to line this up in our chart, this is where we have to figure out which is going to go on the top and which is going to go on the bottom. The goal of this chart is to have our start unit line up with the unit from our conversion factor in the bottom here. If we have this unit in the top and the same unit in the bottom, they will cancel out and we'll be left with just the unit that's in the top of our conversion factor. So I have inches up top here. I'm going to take this side of my conversion factor, 1 inch, and put it on the bottom. And now that I've used this side of my conversion factor, I need to take the other side of my conversion factor and put it in the top. So I'm going to put 2.54 centimeters up here. All right, so if we look just at the units here, don't worry about the numbers currently. Inches and inches will cancel out. We have one on the top, one on the bottom. The only unit we have left is centimeters. That's what I want for my goal, so I'm good. Now that I have this unit as my only remaining unit in my chart, and it's the same as the unit that I want for my goal, I can go ahead and do the math. I think you already saw that when I moved this. 68.5 times 2.54, that's both numbers that are in the top, and that is divided by any of the numbers in the bottom, so we just have one there. 68.5 times 2.54, this is the number that we get. That goes along with my unit that is remaining, so my answer to this problem is 173.99 centimeters. Okay, so that is how we use our chart.